Good morning from New York. Boxing today. Boxing with pillows for boxing gloves. How to deal with Trump and MAGA and political party groupies. We see ourselves divided, but still loving our neighbors. Neighbors with varying abilities to understand varying things who might just decide that Trump is good for America. We're all bright in some ways and dumb as rocks in others, and some of us know which is which and some don't. Those who don't understand how government works and can't communicate well or understand what laws are better often vote. We are all at various levels of such understanding, and our low understanding gets swayed by highly emotional appeals. Political parties are often set up with vague descriptors such as Democratic or Republican, which don't tell us much but sound nice. So when we decide to join a political party or group, such as independent, whatever that means, and get into discussions, how much do we understand the issues we argue about? Are we just groupies of our chosen group, fans of those whose jokes we like best? We argue, if we are trying to be polite, with jokes that don't mean much and don't land much of a punch. We box in politics and jokes that are like boxing with pillows. Yeah, with jokes that are like boxing with pillows. Why? Because deep down we know that the one we are arguing with is part of the country we live in, and so our neighbor. Nobody wants to be seen as hating their neighbors. So we might try to throw some of the other party groupies out of our neighbor definition. Then the fight is on, the insults fly, and it feels great in a crowd where we aren't saying these things to anyone's face who isn't in our groupie group. Does anything look dumber than waving signs with a few words and repeating emotional statements like freedom and democracy as if the other groupies in the other group are as if they're against those vague notions? Then we have debates, which never require the parties to argue each other's side and see which argument is easier. Of course not. That would take all the fun out of the experience and have us focused on what is more probably true. Here comes Trump. He insults at will, but cowers to say his insults to people's or opponents' face. He lies so much you don't even know what even he believes to be true, and against which no good argument can be made. He acts like a child who got caught being naughty, but has no insightful words to use. We have a media who, though catching him constantly lying or sharing falsehoods, decides he is the winner of a debate because, well, simply because he was loud and didn't stumble. Here comes Kamala and Tim. They are smart enough to know they must please the home team groupies, but know they have to reach out to the various groupies, all who differ. They seem to have the more grown-up groupies, but still do more to pull on the heartstrings than to go into the boring stuff, the iffy and contentious stuff you have to deal with when you are part of any government. As we gather together and go to vote, We can't let the silliness of politics blind us to which group message is the saner and wiser, and which one is the weirder and crazier. We shouldn't make false equivalent statements or hold such statements as guides. We can't always box with pillows. We have to declare with pointed humor which side is the weirdest and craziest. And that couldn't be plainer in the voting choices around the world than in the group called the United States of America. Oh, and by the way, we are technically North Americans, and so are Canadians and Mexicans and a few others. And the concept called America would have to include both North and South America, so all the folks living in these places are rightfully called Americans. But who's thinking? We are getting ready to vote. God bless us all, if there is one. Until next time, keep happy and be kind.